Stop everything because the love and hip-hop universe just imploded. Cameras caught the moment Yandy Smith walked in on Mendeecees, but it wasn't just any ordinary scene. It was Mendeecees with Ciara, whispering in the corner, exchanging looks that screamed more than friendship. Within seconds, the rumor mill spun out of control. Divorce papers were mentioned, and Yandy's entire world seemed to crash down in front of the crew. This isn't just another petty argument. This is a betrayal that threatens to end one of LHATL's most iconic marriages. Fans are in tears, insiders are whispering that the footage producers have locked away is even worse. And Ciara's name is now at the center of the ugliest storm yet. Was this a simple misunderstanding? Or the final straw that shatters everything Yandy and Mendeecees built? When it comes to love and hip-hop Atlanta, you never know which way the storm is blowing, but nobody expected the winds to hit this hard. Yandy Smith and Mendeecees Harris have long been painted as the power couple of the show, a pair who overcame legal struggles, public scrutiny, and years of ups and downs just to stay together. Fans have always looked at them as proof that love could survive the madness of reality TV. But now, whispers are turning into roars, and the newest scandal threatens to rip apart that carefully crafted image forever. The cameras didn't just roll, they exploded. Word is, producers had been following Mendeecees for what was supposed to be a lighthearted business meetup. But when Yandy walked in, she didn't see an innocent conversation. She saw Mendeecees and Ciara Gates sitting too close, talking to soft and exchanging looks that no married man should be giving another woman. The tension was instant. Yandy's face reportedly turned white with shock. And the crew braced themselves for what came next. This wasn't just about Ciara being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Ciara has her own messy history, her own trail of drama with past relationships. And her name has never been far from scandal. For her to be sitting with Yandy's husband in such a private, secretive way, it didn't just raise eyebrows, it triggered alarms. And let's be honest, this isn't the first time Mendeecees has been caught in compromising positions. But this time, the timing and the woman involved makes it look way worse. Insiders claim Yandy stormed into the room demanding answers. Cameras allegedly caught every second of her voice cracking as she asked, "So this is what you've been doing?" Mendeecees tried to brush it off as nothing, saying Ciara was just helping him with business, but Yandy wasn't buying it. The body language, the way they leaned in, the secret smiles, it was too much. Within minutes, Yandy was in tears, and whispers started swirling that she had already contacted her lawyer about divorce papers. Fans are now speculating nonstop. Was Ciara just a pawn in this bigger mess? Or was she knowingly part of something more sinister? Some even believe Ciara might have been set up by producers to spark drama. But others are convinced there's a deeper betrayal. After all, Yandy has stuck by Mendeecees through prison time, financial struggles, and countless rumors for her to even mention divorce. That means she must have seen something that crossed the line. And here's the kicker. Multiple insiders say Yandy wasn't the only one watching. A hidden producer camera reportedly captured footage of Ciara and Mendeecees before Yandy walked in, footage that shows the two holding hands briefly when they thought nobody was looking. If that video ever airs, it could be the nail in the coffin for this marriage. Fans are demanding answers. Yandy is heartbroken, and Ciara, well, she hasn't said a word yet. Silence might be protecting her, but in the court of public opinion, silence looks a lot like guilt. The stage is now set for one of the most emotional, explosive arcs in love and hip-hop Atlanta history. And as much as fans want to believe Yandy and Mendeecees can work through anything, this scandal has already done damage that no apology can erase. Divorce might not just be an option, it might be inevitable. The fallout didn't stop with Yandy's stunned reaction, only got louder, hotter, and more dangerous as the night wore on. After that explosive walk-in, cameras captured the kind of confrontation that producers pray for but families dread. Yandy wasn't about to let Ciara's presence slide. She planted her heels in the middle of the room, pointing directly at her husband and Ciara like she was the judge, jury, and executioner. The first words out of Yandy's mouth, So this is where my loyalty gets me. After everything I've done for you, Mendeecees?" Her voice was trembling, but it wasn't fear, it was rage. The crew reportedly froze, unsure if they should intervene or just keep rolling. Sierra tried to jump in, nervously insisting that she and Mendeecees were just talking business. But Yandy wasn't having it. She snapped back with, "Business doesn't look like holding hands in the dark, Sierra." And right there, the entire room tilted into chaos. Mendeecees, visibly sweating, tried to defuse it. He raised his voice over Yandy's, telling her she was overreacting and that Sierra was simply a friend helping with contacts. But instead of calming her, those words added fuel to the fire. Yandy reportedly exploded, screaming, "A friend. A friend doesn't sit up smiling in your face while your wife is at home holding down the family." The tension was so thick that crew members whispered later that they thought fists were about to fly. Then came the first twist. Yandy pulled out her phone. Insiders say she had already been tipped off by another cast member, who texted her earlier that day warning her to check on your man. Yandy, scrolling through those messages on camera, holding them up in front of Sierra, changed everything. She read them aloud. "They've been spotted together more than once. He's keeping late nights. This isn't the first time." The gasps in the room were loud enough to drown out Mendeecees' excuses. Sierra, cornered and visibly rattled, lashed out. She turned her frustration toward Yandy and snapped, "Don't come at me like I'm the only problem here. You don't even know half the things your husband's been up to." That one line was enough to make producers scramble. Because suddenly Sierra wasn't just defending herself. She was hinting at bigger secrets, deeper betrayals. Fans later speculated that Sierra might have receipts of her own, evidence that could blow this marriage into shreds. The fight grew so heated that Rashida, who happened to be nearby filming her own storyline, reportedly rushed in to calm things down. But instead of easing the situation, her presence backfired. Yandy turned her fury on Rashida too, accusing her of knowing something and not saying anything. Rashida tried to deny it, but her hesitation was caught on camera. And that silence told fans everything they needed to know. More people might be involved in covering for Mendeecees than Yandy ever realized. The crew eventually had to pull Yandy aside, trying to get her to breathe. But she was heard telling producers, "I'm done. I'm calling my lawyer. Divorce papers are coming." That moment wasn't scripted. It wasn't staged. It was raw heartbreak. And the fact that she said it with Sierra standing right there, staring at the floor in shame, gave fans their first clear look at how serious this really was. But here's the real kicker. Later that night, whispers began to spread that Sierra wasn't acting alone. Rumors claim she may have been in contact with other women linked to Mendeecees, forming a dangerous circle of secrets that could shatter Yandy's entire world. That's the part that nobody saw coming. And it's the first twist in a scandal that is about to get far uglier. The screaming match between Yandy, Mendeecees, and Sierra wasn't the end, it was only the beginning. Just when fans thought it couldn't get any uglier, Sierra leaned back, folded her arms, and dropped a bombshell that sent the entire set into chaos. With cameras still rolling, she smirked and said, "Yandy, you think this is just about me? Honey, there's something you don't know." That single line froze the air. Yandy's face went from furious to... Yandy's breakdown was caught in real time. She clutched the phone to her chest, sobbing uncontrollably as Mendeecees tried to grab it back. "You lied to me," she screamed. "You lied to me and you made me look like a fool on national TV." Mendeecees, realizing the walls were closing in, tried to spin it, insisting the messages weren't what they looked like and that Sierra was exaggerating. But the damage was already done. The crew reported that Yandy collapsed into a chair, muttering about how she should have listened to warnings from friends months ago. For years, she defended Mendeecees, holding their family together through trials, prison time, and endless rumors. But seeing the proof with her own eyes shattered something in her. Viewers who later caught wind of the leaks online said it was the most raw and painful moment they've ever seen from Yandy. Not just anger, but heartbreak. The shocking reveal didn't end there. Sierra, in one last twist of the knife, allegedly hinted that producers knew about the messages weeks ago and had been waiting for the right moment to drop it. If true, it means this wasn't just a betrayal between husband and wife. It was an orchestrated setup that exploited Yandy's pain for ratings. That revelation left fans divided. Was Sierra a villain stirring the pot? Or was she simply exposing the truth that Yandy needed to see? By the time the cameras cut, Yandy was whispering to a producer, "I can't do this anymore. I'm filing. I don't care what it costs." And just like that, the show's strongest couple was dangling on the edge of destruction. All thanks to Sierra's shocking reveal and Mendeecees' exposed secrets. The moment the footage of Yandy's breakdown and Sierra's bombshell leaked online, the internet went into absolute meltdown. Social media became the battlefield where fans, celebrities, and even industry insiders weighed in on what they had just witnessed. Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok were flooded with hashtags like hashtag Team Yandy, hashtag Mendeecees post, and hashtag Sierra Snake, each side picking apart every detail of the confrontation. Fans were heartbroken for Yandy. One viral post read, "Sis held him down while he was in prison, raised the kids, built a brand, and this is how he repays her. Nah, she deserves better." Thousands of people echoed this same sentiment, praising Yandy's loyalty while slamming Mendeecees for what they saw as ultimate betrayal. Memes flooded timelines showing Yandy's crying face side by side with captions like, "The strongest woman on reality TV deserves peace, not pain." But not everyone was letting Yandy off the hook. A smaller group of fans questioned why she stayed so loyal to Mendeecees in the first place, with comments like, "Sis had warning signs years ago. She ignored them, and now she's shocked." Others even accused her of playing the victim for storyline purposes. Those takes were quickly drowned out by overwhelming sympathy. But it showed the divide this scandal had created in the fan base and Sierra. She might have thought she was just telling her truth, but fans dragged her across every platform. She was called everything from messy to untrustworthy, with one fan posting, "Sierra been bouncing from scandal to scandal. Why is she always in the middle of somebody else's marriage?" Another viral tweet read, "You're not a friend, you're a fire starter. You sat there holding hands with someone's husband and then smirked while dropping bombs. Nah, you're done." Sierra's Instagram comments were flooded with snake emojis. And fans even started a petition to get her kicked off the show. Meanwhile, Mendeecees took the harshest beating. Industry insiders began to chime in, hinting that this wasn't the first time his loyalty had been questioned behind the scenes. One anonymous blogger claimed Mendeecees has always had a wandering eye. The difference now is that the cameras caught it in real time, and Sierra made sure it hit the fan. Several hip-hop blogs ran with that narrative, painting him as someone who had finally run out of excuses. Even other celebrities couldn't resist adding their 2 cents. Tamar Braxton allegedly commented on a shady post, writing, "If a man shows you who he is, believe him the first time." Rashida, who had been dragged into the fight during filming, posted a cryptic story. "Sometimes being quiet protects more than it reveals." That only fueled speculation that she knew more than she was saying. The reactions weren't limited to just fans and celebrities. The industry itself started buzzing. Producers from other reality shows began hinting that this scandal could elevate Love and Hip Hop Atlanta into a whole new league of ratings. Some even whispered that Yandy's breakdown was the realest TV moment of the year, comparing it to iconic reality TV meltdowns of the past. But the biggest reaction came from fans speculating about the future of Yandy and Mendeecees' marriage. TikTok was flooded with videos of fans breaking down body language, analyzing the leaked text messages, and even doing side-by-side breakdowns of Sierra's smirk. Some fans claimed Yandy filing divorce papers was inevitable, while others prayed she would find the strength to walk away. A viral TikTok with over 2 million views summed it up best. "This isn't just a scandal, it's a betrayal that broke the strongest woman we've seen on this show. If Yandy leaves, she'll come back stronger. If she stays, she'll lose everything. The public had chosen sides. The industry was buzzing, and the pressure on Yandy had never been heavier. But the story wasn't finished. Behind the cameras, more leaks were brewing, and the next twist was about to push this scandal into even darker territory. Just when the world thought the scandal had reached its boiling point, a new leak hit the internet, and this one was even more explosive than the original footage. Late one night, a mysterious Instagram page appeared under the name @TheRealReceipts ATL. And within hours, it had uploaded what it claimed was audio proof of Mendeecees and Sierra's private conversations. The page went viral instantly. Fans swarmed to hear the tapes, and what they heard left them reeling. The audio, allegedly recorded on a late-night call, featured a man whose voice sounded eerily like Mendeecees, saying, "Yandy doesn't need to know everything. What we have stays between us." The woman on the other end laughed softly, replying, "You already know I can keep a secret." Fans lost their minds. If the clip was real, it wasn't just suspicion anymore. It was confirmation. Yandy reportedly got wind of the leak in real time while filming, and the cameras captured her crumbling again. Insiders say she slammed her phone down and shouted, "I knew it. I knew I wasn't crazy." She was seen calling her lawyer immediately after, demanding paperwork be drawn up. Divorce was no longer just a threat. It was a real possibility. But here's where the final twist kicked in. Hours later, Sierra came forward, denying that the audio was real. She claimed it was doctored and accused other cast members of setting her up to look like the villain. "That's not me, and y'all know it," she wrote in an Instagram story. But fans weren't convinced. They pointed out that the voice sounded exactly like hers, down to her laugh. The debate grew louder, and suddenly Sierra wasn't just fighting Yandy, she was fighting the internet. She was fighting the internet. Mendeecees, meanwhile, stayed quiet, dead silent. No Instagram posts, no comments, no interviews, and his silence was louder than words. Fans began speculating that his lawyers had told him to stay quiet because more receipts were about to drop. Some even believed that Sierra wasn't the only woman involved, and that more names would soon come to light by the end of the week. Rumors were flying that VH1 producers were sitting on even more damning footage, waiting to air it at the reunion. If true, Yandy's decision about divorce might not be her own. The world could see every dark corner of her marriage before she even signs the state. And here's the cliffhanger. One insider leaked that the reunion will feature Yandy confronting not just Sierra, but also another woman tied to Mendeecees. A second mistress storyline is already buzzing online, and fans are foaming at the mouth to know who it is. Could it be someone else from the cast? A woman outside the show? Or worse, someone Yandy once considered a friend? One thing's for certain, Yandy's world will never be the same again. And the only question left hanging in the air is this: when the dust settles, will she walk away stronger, or will Mendeecees' secrets drag her down for good? And there you have it, family. One of the messiest, most gut-wrenching scandals Love and Hip Hop has ever thrown at us. From leaked footage to mystery tapes. From Sierra's denials to Yandy's heartbreaking breakdown. Storyline has every ingredient for a reality TV explosion. But as always, the biggest question is, what comes next? Will Yandy follow through with those divorce papers and finally shut the door on Mendeecees? Or will she, like so many women before her in the franchise, choose to fight for a marriage that the entire world is telling her to walk away from? The silence from Mendeecees is deafening. And if we know anything about Love and Hip Hop, it's that silence is often the calm before the storm. The reunion is looming, and producers are already teasing more secrets, more receipts, and maybe even another shocking mistress reveal that could take this entire saga to a level nobody's ready for. Imagine Yandy, Sierra, and a mystery woman all facing each other under those reunion stage lights. That's not just drama, that's history in the making. But before we wrap this up, I want to hear from you. Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. Do you believe the leaked audio was real? Or was Sierra telling the truth when she said it was fake? Should Yandy finally end it with Mendeecees? Or does he deserve one last chance to explain himself? Your voice matters here because the fans are the heartbeat of this show. And I know you all have opinions just waiting to spill, so don't forget, hit that like button, smash subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. Because this story is far from over. Trust me, the next chapter is going to blow your mind and you'll want to be right here when it all unfolds.